Ooh, what's good, Commanders fans? Man, it's been a long time since I've been live. I just want to come on here and chop it up with you guys. It's been a super long time. Just wanted to enjoy the vibes of free agency. I know I am a little tardy here. I usually am on time rather than being on CP time, but I just wanted to chop it up with y'all because it's been a very long time. Just go over a grade for free agency and get the pulse of you guys and how you guys are feeling. I know there's a massive storm about to happen, a tornado warning. So I'm not going to be on here super long. I'll probably be on here for like an hour. Don't want to risk the power going out and whatnot and stuff like that. So, just gonna chop it up with y'all. So what's up, Justin? Yo, what's up, man? My guy Juan Gotti. He said I must be back in 2028, Big Ed. Shout out to Juan, man. Yeah, I used to go live once a week on my channel, like once a week, but I just haven't had a lot of time. So I'm trying to get back to that. The vibes are up, the vibes are high. So I want to get some things going back on the channel for sure. I haven't been able to go live like I used to on my own channel. So I'm gonna try to go back to that. So I used to get guests on and stuff like that and collab. So I just haven't been able to do that in a long time. Shout out to Juan, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to my guy Juan Gotti. Shout out to Ayo Justin. Shout out to I Love Thomas Sagies or Sagasy. What's up, man? But shout out to Juan. Make sure to subscribe to Juan. He does great Commanders content. I have my De'Ami Brown jersey on. I have my De'Ami Brown jersey on. I just got this for $15, $14.99 plus free shipping, 2-day free shipping. I ordered it. What day did De'Ami get signed? De'Ami got signed on what, Saturday or Sunday or something like that? I think I got something on Friday, and I got the jersey yesterday on Sunday. And it's beautiful as you can see. It's beautiful as you can see. Number 2. I don't know if he's gonna be wearing number 2. Amik Robertson may be wearing number 2, but I mean the fact that I got this jersey for $14.99 is insane. It's insane. Um, let's see here. Mish Mosh Monster, what's up, man? He says, "Yo, Carter, let me see where they're coming again. Skins fan all day. What's up, man? Shout out, he's an OG right there. I'm gonna give my shout outs out. I'm gonna give my shout outs out real quick, and then we're gonna get into the content. We're gonna get into the moves, grades, recapping free agency, guys that are still available. Of course, who you guys think we're gonna draft at pick 7 now, because we have a huge need of wide receiver. We signed De'Ami Brown, we signed Van Jefferson. Both those guys are okay at best. Both guys had less than 400 receiving yards last year. They had about 500 something receiving yards combined, and that's just not good enough for Jaden Daniels. And I like the depth there. Yes, those guys are way better than Robbie Chosen. Yes, they're way better than Chris Moore. I think both of them are better than some of the guys that we have on the roster currently that had to play a lot of snaps that are still here, draft picks from the last 2 years. I think Van and De'Ami may be more productive than Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, who I do like Jalen Lane. But at the same time, De'Ami Brown has showed you playoff success. That's the thing you can go off of. Playoff De'Ami will never, ever, ever, ever be forgotten. Documentary De'Ami will never, ever, ever be forgotten. He finally showed up in the playoffs. He had a big game against the Lions, huge game against the Bucks. So it's good to get him here on a 1-year deal. Let me see if I can find the contract details for his contract. I'm not sure if they released that yet, but I know it's not going to be a lot. It shouldn't be a lot. He went to the Jags, stole money from them. Got his 10 mil. He should be thanking Jaden Daniels for getting him paid. De'Ami Brown got a 1-year, $3 million deal. So Van Jefferson's details have not been his money has not been released yet. Charles Omeni, who's getting $4 million per year. Kaylavon Chason is getting a 1-year, $11 million deal for 1 year. That's a darn good deal. Nick Cross, 2 years, $14 million. That's not too far from what Jeremy Chin got. And Will Harris. So like Adam really didn't overpay. And if you want to say Odafe Owe was overpay, it is what it is on that, but you have to you gotta pay to play. You gotta play to play. You can't be cheap. And Adam tried. He whiffed on Alec Pierce. He whiffed on Romeo Dobbs. He whiffed apparently on Trey Hendrickson. He whiffed on Jalen Phillips. We were in on so many guys. We came in second place over and over and over again. And he finally hit on Odafe Owe. He hit on Kaylavon Chason. He hit on Leo Chenal. Leo Chenal's deal is a steal. That's the definition of a steal right there. The super high RAS score. Leo Chenal, he got a 3-year, $24.75 million deal. And all these guys are like 25, 26, 27 years old. All young guys. Adam Peters made it a point not to go after guys that are 30 and over. You know, the Von Millers of the world, Zach Ertz, all Hall of Famers, all future Hall of Famers. But he went with the youth movement guys that are going into their second contracts in their career, that their upside is going up, the trajectory is going up. Look at Clavon Chason. Clavon Chason, he was considered a bust after his first 3 seasons, but last year had 7.5 sacks with the Patriots. Big games in the playoffs. Had a huge game against the Texans. Had a huge game against the Chargers. And then he had 6 sacks with the Raiders the year before. So he has just gotten better each year. We've gotten guys that are getting better. Odafe Owe getting better. He was with the Ravens. He had a down start to the year, but he got better in the second half of the year with the Chargers. So we're getting guys that Leo Chenal getting better each year. Nick Cross, young and athletic, super high, are elite athletic freaks. All these guys that we're bringing in, athletic freaks. All right. So let's see. Let's get to some comments. Will Diggs, I appreciate you for the donation. I appreciate you, man. Shout out to Will Diggs. I do like that profile picture of the Family Guy profile picture. I do like that a lot. Leslie Jordan, 5644. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate you for that. He says Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles might be the pick. For me, I wouldn't be mad at that. I mean, you have options at pick 7. You could go defense with Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, one of those guys. Sonny Styles might not be there. I think it's most likely that Caleb Downs will be there. Don't forget about Mansour Delaney as well. David Bailey might be there. Ruben Bain, if you do want to go defense. The reason why I don't think they're really going to go defense is because, you know, they brought in Clavon Chason. They brought in Odafe Owe. They brought in Charles Omenihu. You still have Dorrance coming off the ACL injury. He should be coming back hopefully by week 4 or something like that. You do have Javonte John Baptiste coming back. So you have like 6 or 7 defensive ends that you can rotate a legit. You still have Dietrich Wise. They brought back Dietrich Wise. So they have a lot of defensive ends. I know David Bailey, if he does drop to 7, that would be a huge steal if you could get him. But at the same time, I think you're good at the defensive end spot. I think you can wreak some havoc there, especially with Charles Omenihu coming off the bench, Dietrich Wise rotating, Odafe Owe, and Clavon Chason, who's getting better as a pass rusher. I think you have depth in your setup now. So if somebody, knock on wood, does get injured, you're just not lost in the sauce like we were last year. When Dorrance, he was the guy that we were super, super heavily relying on. Dietrich Wise got hurt. So you had 2 guys that were out for the season. That is a lot to have 2 guys out for the season in like the first 8 games of the season. That is rough. I get it. But now, like, you have major depth. You have 3 guys that can really rush the passer in Dorrance, Clavon, and Odafe. So even if one guy doesn't play well, the other guy should come in and play well. And then you have Dietrich to slow down the run game. So you have a lot of pass rush juice. Javonte John Baptiste, Amini, who has 7.5 sacks in his career not too long ago, like 2023, had 7.5 sacks. He forced a fumble in the AFC Championship game too. Don't forget that against the Ravens, he had a big forced fumble in that game. He tore his ACL after that in the same game, but he's impactful. He plays mean. He's an athletic freak too. But to reply to your comment, Downs or Styles might be the pick. Yeah, I can see that. There's a lot of ways you could go with it, but right now I'm feeling wide receiver. I just feel like our wide receiver core is in need, really, really big time. You cannot rely on Brandon. You can't rely on Brandon Aiyuk. You can't. And I'm a big fan. I like Brandon Aiyuk. I want him to come here and all that. And it's a big waiting game. You know, the Niners not playing around. They're playing hardball. So, I mean, you can take your pick at wide receiver with Carnell Tate. I'm out on Mekhi Lemon. I'm out on him. Jordan Tyson, I like him a lot. I just learned that Jordan Tyson's brother plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Jalen Tyson. I love when there's like family members and pedigree and stuff like that. I love when it's an athletic family. I do like that stuff. At the end of the day, it can mean nothing. But when you look at guys that have athletic brothers in the league and stuff like that, you know, you look at the Diggs brothers, even though they're crazy. I mean, I'm not going to call them crazy, but you look at the Diggs brothers. You look at James Cook and Dalvin Cook. I mean, when there's typically brothers in the league, they're pretty nice. You know, I mean, you think about Candace Parker and Anthony Parker. Anthony Parker was not bad, but Candace Parker was a dog. But you think about brothers of Venus and Serena. But you get the point. When there's family members in the league like that, Or in another league, Jordan Tyson, who's like that for the Jalen Tyson, who's really good for the Cavs, and his brothers Jordan Tyson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Iniquitous St. Brown's not that great, but still, they're both. Amon-Ra's a great receiver, but you guys get the point. So I would love Jordan Tyson. I get there's the injury concern, but he's the best out of the three. It's Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate for me, and then Mekhi Lemon is the third. And I'm like I said, I'm out on Mekhi Lemon. I'm out because he did not take the combine seriously. He didn't take it seriously. So I'm out on guys like that don't take interviews seriously. Mishmash Monster said, "You rocking the Diami?" Yes, sir. You already know. You already know I'm rocking the Diami, man. The De'Ami Brown #2. You already know what it is. I got a couple stuff on the way too. I got some more stuff that I ordered that was on the clearance rack, and you're gonna see that, guys, pretty soon. It's gonna be a show and tell. Like I said, I don't care if it's a washed up player or a player that didn't work out here. If a jersey is $9.99, $14.99, I'm getting the jersey. I don't care. I really don't care. It's a jersey is a jersey. It's free. I mean, not free, but basically free shipping. Come on now. You got to take advantage of that deal on NFLshop.com. OG Newman one said, "What's up, broski? What's up, man?" Wesley Jordan said, "Be safe down there in Maryland." Yes, I will. I definitely will. I got my flashlight just in case. I'm trying to think if I have any like meals I can just eat that just in case the power is out for a couple of days, knock on wood or something like that. But I am prepared for the tornado of 2026. Yes, I am. Lee Lewis 45 says already subbed at one. Got it. Yes, sir, man. Make sure y'all sub to him. Make sure y'all sub to him on TikTok and Instagram too. Follow him on Instagram. He's got some funny TikToks about the DMV and the accent and everything like that. He makes some really, really funny content for sure. Road Runner Logistics LLC 36. That's definitely a truck driver name right there. That's definitely a truck driver name. Be safe out there, man. I don't know where I-81 is, but if that is in the DMV, then please be safe out there in the tornado stuff going on in the weather. He says, "What's up, truck driver here on I-81? I love Thomas Segui," says, "Holy deal." I'm with one on that. Shout out to my guy Rio, man. Shout out to my co-host Rio, man. Great guy. I know you guys know who that is. Make sure you guys sub up his channel. He has a bunch of subscribers, awesome content creator. So make sure you guys sub him up, man. Hilarious guy, good guy, all that. Follow his Twitter too, man. He's always up to something on Twitter, man. I'm telling you, he's always up to something. I'm telling you, always. He says smash a like for King Shiggity. So yeah, shout out to my guy Rio Robinson. Always good content, man. And he's always getting some nuggets, some good information as well out there, man. He's been getting some good info out for the Commanders Nation as always, man. Never a dull moment with Rio though. Never. If you don't want to hear Shiggity and you actually want to just hear the word, go to Rio's channel. If you want to hear the real word instead of censored. But yeah, and check out Commanders Kings, man. We all do really well on that channel together. Me, Rio, Louis, Rico. We got great chemistry on the channel, so make sure you guys check out that channel too and subscribe to that channel if you have not checked out that channel. So big thing, more things coming that way. We should be getting collabing for the draft. We should be getting together in person for another live stream in August as well with my guy Rio, Louis, and Street as well. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. OG Newman said, "That's wild. We still got cats down here selling Parsons Cowboys jerseys for like $10. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's basically like getting a free jersey. This jersey was $130, but I got it for $9.99 or $14.99. I mean, you can't beat that. Anthony Johnson, 7 cents. So let's talk about Brandon Aiyuk. I do want to bring up some tweets here too. I may show them on the screen. So there's a beat reporter for the 49ers. His name is Grant Cohen, and he's really been going in on the 49ers organization. He's been calling, he hasn't really called them unprofessional, but the way he talks about the 49ers is kind of like he's really, really against the 49ers. And to give you context on the guy named Grant Cohen, he's the same guy that got into an argument with Javon Kinlaw on a stream. I think he was on his own channel, his own YouTube channel, and he did a stream, and him and Javon Kinlaw were going back and forth when Javon Kinlaw was on the 49ers. So that gives you some context on kind of how Grant Cohen is. Grant Cohen, he will be honest and say real things. Kyle Shanahan does not like Grant Cohen. I've seen times where Kyle Shanahan wanted to kick Grant Cohen out of interviews and press conferences and stuff like that. But Kyle Shanahan, at the end of the day, yes, he's being petty. John Lynch, they're being petty. I get it. It's a business, and they're not happy about what Brandon Aiyuk did. I wouldn't be happy either if I were them, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to be silly and hold him for a 7th-round pick. Like, no NFL team should really give up a 7th-round pick for the contract. You look at the contract, you're still on the hook for like $26 million in 2027 or something like that. There is a potential out after this year, but still, like, you don't want to have the dead cap hit if you take on a contract and whatnot. So it's not smart to give up a 7th-round pick, and you're really waiting out on a 7th-round pick just to get a trade when you know that's how bad it is. You know the best you can get is a 7th-round pick. Like, that's the best you can get. You know you're not going to get a 5th, a 4th, or a 3rd. You know the best you can get is a 7th, and you're just going to hold the process and wait for that. And that's what they're going to do. So, it is what they're not happy. And Kyle Shanahan said that in his presser. He was like, he's never seen this before, talking about Brandon Aiyuk and the whole driving 110 miles per hour past the stadium. John Lynch was upset too. They just paid him. So I get it. But at the end of the day, just let the guy go. And Grant Cohn was saying too, he was like, they're probably concerned that he will leave and go to the Commanders and play well. And that's the last thing they want to see happen is Brandon Aiyuk get his wish, play with his best friend and Jaden Daniels, get 800 to 1,000 yards, make the playoffs. And we do play the Niners. I think we do play the Niners. Who are our 26 opponents? I do believe we play the Niners. So that would be a huge revenge game. Yes, we do play the 49ers. That would be a huge game. I would be motivated to go against them if I were if I was John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. I would be motivated to go up against them. We play at San Fran, so that will be a funny game. If we do get Brandon Aiyuk, which I do think we will get Brandon Aiyuk, and him going back to San Fran in an away game, that would be insane. That'd be crazy. Shout out to Grand Groove 5485. Thank you for the donation. As an ad started here with you, man. Do you still have the Josh Doctson trash can? That was the last first-round wide receiver we had. Yeah, well, we did have Jahan Dotson in the first round. We did have him with pick 16, and I did like Jahan Dotson, and that's a hint on the jersey that I will be getting in the next few days. It's supposed to be arriving March 19th, which is the 17th is Tuesday, the 18th is Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, so show and tell will be on Thursday or Friday if I make a video on those days. But one of the jerseys I'll be receiving, I just gave you a hint on that. So, but yeah, Josh Doctson was awful, man. He was so bad. My gosh, he couldn't catch. He had hands like a snake. Butter hands, all that. He was really bad. The Chiefs game on Monday Night Football, he had a terrible drop. I mean, he was just bad, man. He was awful. And then he got cut in training camp, I think. I don't think he made the 53-man roster. They tried to trade him, couldn't get anything for him. He was tall as crap. He was like 6'4", had nice, probably had a good RAS score too, if I looked that up. But he had all the looks. He looked the part. Got injured his rookie year. Looked the part, just couldn't get it together. Yes, he had a quarterback carousel here and there. He did have Kirk Cousins for 1 year. And then he had Alex Smith the next year. He did have that big catch against the Seahawks where we were not supposed to beat the Seahawks when we only had like 4 or 5. I think we only had 5 healthy offensive linemen that game. 5 or 6 active offensive linemen that game and a bunch of guys out. We went to Seattle and won that game. So that's like the best play he had. But now he's out of football. He's like retired. Or something like that. He might be playing the XFL or UFL. No, he's not. I wouldn't know that. He's not in the XFL or the UFL. But the trash can, yes. So I did put Josh Norman in that trash can too. I had to. I do have that trash can. That trash can is in the man cave. It is in the man cave bathroom right now, but it stays in the man cave bathroom. Hopefully it stays there. Hopefully I don't have to put anybody else in that trash can. Unfortunately, hopefully I don't have to. I really don't want to. I don't want to. Let me get to some other comments here. But shout out to my man Grand Groove. He's been rocking with the channel for a little while, man. He's been rocking with the channel for a long time. Shout out to Kay's Take. Make sure you guys subscribe. That's Kay's Take HTTC. Make sure you guys sub her up. She's got a great channel as well. She's been getting a good amount of views on her channel. She just started a couple months ago. She has a TikTok as well, so she's got a lot of good content. Make sure you guys check her out. RNash9440. Why not give K'Lavon Chase on 2 to 3 years? That's a good question. I mean, it kind of gives you some flexibility there, I would say that, but we've seen he's kind of like I guess he's similar to Jadeveon Clowney. Like Jadeveon Clowney, he never gets 2 to 3 year deals. Every year Jadeveon Clowney gets like a 1 year deal. So I think he's kind of like that because everybody knows K'Lavon Chaisson is a rotational pass rusher. He's not coming in to slow down the run. He's coming to pin his ears back and attack the quarterback and put pressure on the quarterback and sack the quarterback. And that's what K'Lavon does. 7.5 sacks last year. Had a big game in the playoffs. He got better every game, I feel like. He had a touchdown, too. He got into the end zone and scored a touchdown, a defensive touchdown. So a 1 year deal is fine with me. $12 million deal, a $12 million deal. Patriots fans were upset that he was only signed for $12 million. They were very upset about that. So whenever you hear the former team on Twitter or social media when they're upset about a signing happening and they're gone, that's good news. So, but 2 to 3 years, I think Adam just wanted to be smart. 1 year, see how it works out, see how it plays out because he hasn't really shown the consistency yet. He's starting to show the consistency, but I think they just want to. It's kind of like Dante Fowler. Dante Fowler too was another guy where you didn't see a lot of consistency, but he played well, and we let him go. We let him walk. But they do have to make sure that they do bring him back if he does have a good season, or do you draft another edge rusher and have him come in and replace him? So those are the options there with Calais Vaughn Chase on. Anthony Johnson, free agency is where guys get overpaid. That's the whole thing. See who can outbid the other team. Yeah, so we got outbid. Adam Peters had a very rough first day. The first 2 days were bad. I'm not even gonna say the first 2 days. The first day and a half, it was bad because the first signing was Amik Robertson, and we all know Amik Robertson. We all know how we love. Well, I'm not gonna say we love PFF, but when you look at his numbers, he was ranked 110th out of 114 cornerbacks. He gave up a bunch of touchdowns last year. Passer rating wasn't great. Passer rating allowed wasn't great. I do remember him with the broken arm against us in the NFC divisional game where we put BTA to the Lions 45-31 in their house. But he's known as the Justin Jefferson stopper. But when you make him your first signing, that's the only signing that I'm actually kind of like iffy on. Other than that, I think everything was a good signing, and even that may work out. I just don't really like the money, the amount, because Jalen Watson only got paid like $4 million. It was either Jalen Watson or Jamel Dean. Jamel Dean only got paid like $4 million more. And then another disappointing thing was not getting Devin Lloyd. He got 3 years, $45 million. That was the same amount that Javon Kinlaw got. So those are only like dings I would give Adam Peters over the preseason. I mean, sorry, not preseason, over the free agency period. Those first 2 days, I think when people saw that, and then they saw Tariq Whelan get his deal, then they saw Elton Jenkins, the center, get signed. I think people were really, really, really upset with that. If you want to be objective, because I can't give Adam A's all across the board, even though I think he did a really good job, especially on the defensive side of the ball. He really did help out Durante Jones a lot with getting a pass rush and getting a linebacker, getting a safety and Nick Cross. Nick Cross's deal was really good, 14 mil. You think of the offensive side of the ball too, bringing back Chris Paul. They haven't announced his details yet, but there's actually a tweet or an article saying that Chris Paul just got a bonus because he played so well, and that's really awesome to see that. And I was shocked because they said that Chris Paul was going to be outpriced. He was going to be priced out of Washington, and we end up bringing him back on a 1 year deal. I know Adam. Adam is a shrewd negotiator. He's a shrewd negotiator. Look at what he gave Rachaad White. White got a 1 year, $2 million deal. Chris Rodriguez got a 2 year, $10 million deal. And Rachaad White, to me, I like C-Rod a lot, but Rachaad White has had more proven production than Chris Rodriguez has. Rachaad White is definitely the more productive running back out of the backfield. He's shown production. He's had 900 yards 900 rushing yards in a season. He's had over 40 receiving receptions each year in his career. Like, Rachaad White is a really good player, and he's coming here to share carries with Bill and Jerome Ford and only get paid 1 year for $2 million. And all that is because he said he's best friends with Jayden Daniels. Now, he did say that we were not his first option. So first, second, third option, it doesn't matter. You decided to sign here, and you wanted to be with your best friend for $2 million in 1 year. So that's a heck of a signing, and a really great. Rico Dowdle got a 2 year, $12 million deal. A lot of the running backs got at least $10 million over 2 years, and Rachaad White got $2 million for only 1 year. So that's a heck of a bargain. And that is because of Jayden Daniels. It's because of Jayden Daniels. He wanted to play with his best buddy. Rachaad White was really, really excited to play with us. You look at some of his tweets from like 3 or 4 months ago. He was putting up the GIF of the plane taking off to DC. You saw some other tweets, and then his profile picture on Instagram and Twitter is like with Jayden Daniels at Arizona State. So Rachaad White, he took the pay cut because he really, really wanted to be here. I don't know how many suitors he had or who else was interested in him, but it just felt like, kind of like Brandon Aiyuk, it was the worst kept secret that Rachaad White was going to be a Commander. And he wanted to be here because he wanted to play with Jayden Daniels. Thank you for the donation. Shout out to D.B543. He says people heavily underestimated how much Ben Johnson generationally messed this team by ghosting us and causing us to miss out on him and Mike McDonald. Now, what I will say, Mike McDonald. Okay, yeah. So we missed out on Mike McDonald because we were waiting on Ben Johnson. I guess that's your reasoning for that. Now, Ben Johnson, I'm fine with not getting him. I understand that he was a really good option. He was a heck of an offensive coordinator. Once again, we beat him in that NFC divisional round where he was being silly with the whole reverse plays, throwing the ball. He got intercepted by Mikey Sainristil. Jameson Williams threw a pass that got intercepted, and then he did not run the ball with Jahmyr Gibbs. But he's a good coach. I'll give him his credit. Like, he is a young, innovative mind. It's fine. He's with the Bears. We should have beat them this year. If we would have beat them, they probably would have had the season that we had. They probably would have went 4-13 instead of us going 5-12 and them going like 12-5. So that game really decided both of our fates. That's just what that game is. Whoever wins between the Bears and the Commanders, you have an awful season. If you win, you have a magical carpet ride type of season. So next year we don't play the Bears. So I'm happy that our season I decided on one game in basically the fourth or fifth game of the season. But yeah, no, it's fine. I personally still like Dan Quinn. I'm still a Dan Quinn guy. I was very questionable on Adam Peters before this free agency. Now he still has a long way to go because I'm not a fan of some of Adam Peters' drafts. You look at the Ben Sinnott draft with drafting Ben Sinnott. Ben Sinnott I'm pretty low on Ben Sinnott. Johnny Newton, I'm pretty low on right now. Mikey, I do like. Dom Hampton has been released. So if you look at the 2024 draft, other than Jaden Daniels, you just haven't had a lot of production. And another reason why I question Adam Peters is because if you look at the behind the scenes in the draft room or the war room, and it's Cliff, it's Dan Quinn, it's Josh Harris, and they're talking about drafting Ben Sinnott. And Josh Harris is like, is Ben Sinnott going to play with Zach Ertz being the starting tight end? And that's a legitimate question from Josh Harris. And we ended up seeing the result was that Ben Sinnott did not get any playing time. And some of that is on Cliff, but at the same time, I feel like everybody needs to be on the same page. Like, if you know Cliff is not going to play that kind of guy, a Kyle Juszczyk type of tight end, H-back kind of guy, then don't draft him. There's so many other guys we could have went with. And another reason why I am down on Ben Sinnott, too, I know everybody gets upset when I go in on Ben Sinnott, is because he had two false starts against the Eagles in the last game of the season. He had a false start against the Giants last year. He just had a couple of boneheaded mistakes where it's not just because he's not anything in the pass game or anything like that. Some of the mental mistakes, I think some of it is nerves. He may get a better opportunity, but he's not because Chiggy's here. So it is what it is with him. Yeah, like Rio said, shout out to Rio. He said he's a fullback. He needs to get a neck roll. He needs to change his face mask. He needs to change from 82 to like 44 or 40 Mike Allstott number, Mike Sellers type of number. So Adam Peters' drafts have been very questionable. They have been. They've been very. Luke McCaffrey's fine. He's okay. Jalen Lane is okay. He's a punt returner at best at this point. But to go back to your statement again, I don't think Ben Johnson really messed us up. I think you can still win with Dan Quinn. We need Dan Quinn for 2024. We need aggressive, go for it on fourth down, Dan Quinn. We need smart, better challenges, better clock management. I think we took some bad timeouts in the beginning of the season where we had clock management problems before halftime. Like, you look at the Giants game, we had some bad clock management, and then he was challenging challenges as well this year. So Dan Quinn, he did struggle a little bit with clock management and just decision making. But I still do like Dan Quinn. I know his defense has been underwhelming. Both seasons, 2024 was bad, even though we won a bunch of games and went to the NFC Championship. And then this year it was bad too. Now, it got a little bit better when he did start to take over some of the play calling, but I'm not out on Dan Quinn yet. This is a make or break year for Dan Quinn, though. But I'm not out on him yet. So I would not say that Ben Johnson has screwed us over. I would not say that because we didn't say that last year at all when we won 12 games and we went to the NFC Championship. We were not saying that about Dan Quinn at all. So. And Jane Daniels wasn't healthy. Terry got hurt. So there's just stuff that was really out of Dan Quinn's control that went wrong. And like I said, I feel like if we win that Bears game, then we go 11-5 or 10-7. Let's see here. Let me get to some more comments here. Uh, Carter Crankenstein says, Carter Crankenstein 82B46 says, you think San Fran fans gonna be our new ops if we get Brandon Ayuk? Yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, I don't really care though. I mean, they can think what they want to think. We already have beef with them anyway. Because remember, well, we have beef in a different way. I mean, Dan Snyder's not here anymore, but he didn't want to give Kirk Cousins away to Kyle Shanahan and the guys over there. So that's a different beef. That's a different regime. So that doesn't matter. We move on, and we made moves with them before. We made a bunch of moves with them before. So um, we did the Trent Williams move. That was a different regime too with Ron. We just made a trade with them last year for Debo Samuel. So we have made transactions with the 49ers. And we know Adam Peters has the crazy thing is too that Adam Peters has a relationship with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Like they have a good relationship. Like I don't care if they're upset or not, to be honest. But they have a relationship. So I am surprised that they haven't released him just to kind of do right kind of by Adam too, because they have a relationship. They do like each other. I feel so. That is interesting as well. And then back to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson, he loves David Blau, so David Blau can step in and be a really good OC for us. Ben Johnson, he loves him some David Blau. Leaky Hawks 4783. Thank you for the donation. He says, "You are the best, Ed. Free agency has been great. We need Brandon Aiyuk and Debo back and pick the best player in the draft." Yeah, I'm on board with bringing back Debo Samuel. I'm on board with bringing him back. He's still a free agent. He's way better than De'Ami Brown. He's way better than Van Jefferson. He's better than Luke McCaffrey. He's way better than Jalen Lane. And if you do bring in Debo, that doesn't stop me from bringing in Brandon Aiyuk. If you bring in Debo, that doesn't stop me from bringing in what's his name, a receiver at pick 7 either. That doesn't stop me from doing that at all. I would be fine with bringing in Debo. And right at this point, you can get Debo for cheap. He's been a free agent for a week. This is day 7 of free agency. So he's not going to get the $15 million that I thought he was going to get. He's not going to get the $13 million. He may go down to $10 million. He may go down to $8 million. If you can get Debo for $8 million, Darnell Mooney just got $10 million. So I think he'll probably get more than $10 million. He'll probably get like 13, 12. You have the cap space. You have the availability to do it. He's a guy that has a good relationship with Jaden Daniels. I just made a video talking about that today as well. You saw them dancing together, doing the celebration dance in the Chargers game before Jaden threw the touchdown to Debo Samuel. Debo Samuel is a dual threat guy. You can do gadget plays with him too. If David Blau wants to install that in his offense, some gadget plays here, some rushing plays with Debo. You could have him with the rushing attack too. He brings the physicality, the screen game. We know Terry's not good at screens really, except for the Lions game in the divisional round where he had the screen for like 70 yards. So Debo would be good at that. I would like to bring. Debo had 700 receiving yards last year, and he was still injured he had an injured heel. You saw what he did to Donovan Wilson on Christmas Day. If you can get that physical Debo like that, sign me up for $10 million per year or a 1 year $10 million deal. I'm fine with that. I'd rather have him than any other free agent receiver that's out there. And like I said, just because I'm re-signing Debo does not mean I wouldn't take. If Carnell Tate's there, and if you really like Carnell Tate, if you really like Jordan Tyson, if you really like Mekhi Lemon, bringing back Debo does not stop me from doing that at all. It does not stop me. And that would be good insurance just in case the Niners do want to be weird and play hardball and really think they're going to get a 7th round pick or a 6th round. Some team is silly enough to do that. Then at least you do have Debo as your wide receiver number 2 or 3 behind Terry, and then you have Carnell Tate as wide receiver number 2, or Jordan Tyson as your wide receiver 2 behind Terry, and then Debo's your wide receiver 3. Because Debo was not supposed to come in and be wide receiver 1. He had to be wide receiver 1 a couple of games. The Bears game where he was hurt, he was a decoy because he could barely move. And then the Chargers game, he was wide receiver 1, I believe. Did Terry play? No, Terry didn't play that game. He was wide receiver 1 against the Chargers. And then he was wide receiver 1 against the Falcons. He had a big 4th down catch for a touchdown against the Falcons from Marcus Mariota. So I just feel like there's some unfinished business with Debo. And I get it. He had the drop against the Vikings, which was awful. And then he had the drop against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, which was really, really, really bad, where he basically threw it to the opposing team as an interception. So, yes, I am in on Debo. I'll ask you guys a question. What was your favorite signing of free agency? You guys can comment down below. I do want to talk with you guys. I always want to ask you guys a question and how you guys feel about free agency. You guys can also comment down your grade in the comment section for free agents. So I do want to see a grade and which player was your favorite signing. Was it Leo Chanel, or was it Adafe Owe? Was it Clavon? Was it Chiggy? Get Chiggy with it. Was it trying to think who else we signed that was significant? Are you happy that Diami is back? Was that your favorite signing out of all the signings? Nick Cross at the University. We got 2 Terps, guys. We got 2 Terps. That's awesome. And they both had elite RAS scores. Nick Cross was like super duper elite. He ran like a 4.4, something like that. Chiggy ran like a 4.5 40-yard dash as a tight end. He provides yak. We went from no yak Zach to getting yak at the tight end position. So I love that with a passion. He's a guy that you can actually throw a screen pass to. And Jaden loves his tight ends as well. Okay. Nick Cross ran a 4.3. He ran a 4.3. That's even better. Adafe Owe ran a 4.3 at the defensive end position. I don't care if it was a pro day or not. I don't care if it was a 20-20 40. I don't care. A 4.3 is a 4.3. He ran it. And that's what showed up on his RAS score. Vertical leap was elite for Adafe Owe. Vertical leap for Nick Cross was elite. Vertical leap for Chiggy was elite as well. So, I mean, my favorite signing is Chiggy. Somebody, Glizzy McGuire 07 or 07 B plus Chig. So he said Chig was his favorite signing. Chig was my favorite signing because you give Jaden a weapon. You give a guy that can give him some yak and make things easier. You give David Blau a weapon that makes things easier. If you listen to some of the interviews from Chiggy, he bashed the Titans a lot in their offense. And he said he's actually going to be running routes here with David Blau. He talked about the whole David Blau wants to run the Ben Johnson offense similar to the Lions, which makes sense. But you look at Chiggy, man. Look at the highlights. Look at the film from Chiggy. Look at the play against the Saints where he's like stiff arming guys, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, getting yak, running in for a touchdown. He had a quarterback carousel throughout his career, so this will be the best quarterback he's played with by far in his career. So I think Chiggy, he gets you automatically 40 catches a season, 40 to 50 catches. And he's definitely going to do that here. There's going to be a game where he has 8 catches in a game. Noyak Zach had a game where he had like 10 catches versus the Broncos. That's certainly going to happen with Chiggy. Chiggy's not a bad blocker either. He's not a bad blocker. It's not like he's a slouch as a blocker. Like he can come in and do that too. And even if if he has a down year blocking as a tight end, you still have Johnny Bates. You still have Ben Sinnott. You still have Colson Yankov. You still have guys that can come in and do the dirty work. So there may be sets where we have 12 personnel, 13 personnel. There's just so many things we can do with Chiggy and the rest of the guys. So I'm excited with Chiggy. Chiggy's my favorite signing. He's my favorite signing. And he's a Turk. Local guys. I love it with a passion. It doesn't have to always be a local guy, but it's just good to have some local talent and some homegrown guys. For sure. Some local guys. Kyle Coons, 8715. Thank you for the donation. He says, with the signings we have made so far, what would be your best guess on how many wins we will have? So I'm not going to do that right now because it's just so many unknowns. And I don't want to cop out of the answer. But at this point, like, I don't like the wide receiver room. I'll be honest with you. I know it's unfinished. There's still a lot of construction going on. There's a lot of building that's going to be going on. So I get that. I 100% understand that. Like, there's the draft still. You still may be waiting on Aiyuk. You may sign Debo. Who knows? Christian Kirk, I like him too. But, there's still a lot of work to do on the offense side of the ball, in my opinion. So I can't really give wins yet. But just looking at the opponents, it's hard to do that game too. Like, we played the Vikings with Kyler Murray. You know what we did to Kyler Murray a couple years ago? We had him in the Matrix. We had him in the Twilight Zone. We would play him against the Cardinals. It's either him or JJ McCarthy, so I can't just be super confident because we just got shut out by them 31-0. We play the Jags, who are good, the Titans, who are bad, the Cardinals, who Jacoby Brissett. So that should be a win. The Giants, we own them. We sweep them every year now. We play the Colts with Daniel Jones, the Bungles, the Falcons with Tua. So, basing off that, let's say we beat the Giants twice. We beat the Falcons with Tua. We beat the Cardinals with Jacoby Brissett. The Titans, 5. That's 5 wins. It should be automatic. Play the Seahawks, probably lost. So that's why. But just projection, I'll say at least 9. I'll be optimistic and say 9. I do need to see more. Of course, I need to see more. But I'm just looking at the opponents right now, and I don't want to get too far ahead right now. But to answer your question, I would start off with 9. Even the hater Aqib Talib said 9 wins. He's the biggest hater of the Commanders ever, and Jay Daniels. Even the hater Aqib Talib said 9 wins already for us. That's what he projected. So, but I won't go off that. Art Rogue says Robertson also plays bigger than he is and had good games against the team's number 1 wide receiver. Yes, he is the Justin Jefferson stopper. I think we overpaid for him a little bit compared to some of the other contracts, but he is the Justin Jefferson stopper. I will give him that. He did get an interception on Jamar Chase, but you take it with a grain of salt because it was against Jake Browning. So you can't really get into that. Now, he's a leader. He's a locker room leader. He has a saying where it's like something from the dirt. You can't bury something that came from the dirt. And that's what Amik Robertson said in his after the game speech when he got the game ball. Now he's perfection at the peanut punch. He's really good at that. So he does force fumbles. He had 3 forced fumbles in the season. I know a lot of people like Leo Chanel. He is a heck of a pickup. Leo Chanel, he's a guy that does not miss tackles. And when you watch him play against Mark Andrews and also Tyler Linderbaum, we did miss out on Tyler Linderbaum. That's another guy that I forgot to say that we missed out on him, that we were in on. We were second on everybody, hanging the banner that we were in on him to every beat reporter. We finally got some fireworks with Odafe Owe. I think Chiggy is a firework. Odafe Owe is a firework. I'm trying to think if there's any other guys that were technically fireworks. I think Nick Cross, you could kind of technically say he was a firework signing. So, and it doesn't always have to be a firework. We just needed some type of sizzler. Something that first day we were getting nothing. We didn't get any heat, no lighter, no nothing. We didn't get anything at all that first day. That's why everybody had Adam Peters. They wanted his head on a stick. They did. They were coming for Adam Peters for sure. It was a riot, and I was a part of the riot too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like I wasn't a part of the riot. I definitely was looking for him as well. Like I said, I'm not gonna pull up with black SUVs on him, but I was upset with Adam those first 2 days that we missed on everybody. We didn't get, some of the players we were looking for. But it's something called patience. I know we learned next year in free agency when it's 12 o'clock and it's the tampering period and it's 1 o'clock, you can't panic. Excuse me, and get mad. I think the only reason why everybody was so upset is because of the whole fireworks thing from Ian Rappaport. That was the big thing. But Leo Chanel, you look him up. You saw what he did against Mark Andrews. He got an interception against Lamar Jackson on Mark Andrews. He's a guy that does not miss tackles. He is a tackling machine. He can rush the passer. He has an elite RES score as well. He's a guy that can play sideline to sideline. He's an off-ball linebacker, but he's smart. He's very good with instincts. He gets off blocks really, really well. Went to Wisconsin. He's a guy that can take on a lot of blockers and blow up a defense and really, really slow down the run game. So Leo Chanel is a really, really good player that's going to really help this defense. And he adds speed and youth to the linebacker core. So you have Chanel, Frankie Louvu, Jordan McGee, some guys that can move their feet and run with tight ends and run with running backs. Of course, like Bobby Wagner, father time, nobody can beat it. So if they don't re-sign Bobby Wagner, I think you do have a good linebacker room that you can move forward with for Durante Jones. I do think he said something like he watched some Andrew Van Ginkel film or something like that. So if that's what he's trying to work on and deflect and bat passes down and just have those instincts and coverage, you can use him as a spy. The Chiefs use him as a spy as well. The only thing is that he didn't get a lot of snaps. He did share snaps with Nick Bolton out there and some of the other linebackers. So he's definitely going to be needed to have some more snaps out here. So that's like the only thing. But he does not miss tackles. That's a great thing about Leo Chanel. He does not miss tackles. So this is what I wanted to say from Grant Cohn. So Grant Cohn says Brandon Aiyuk did not quit on the 49ers. They voided his guarantees, and he still returned to the team from July to October because he wanted to play. They never cleared him. They didn't want him to play. When that was clear, he left. He's not the bad guy. This is a tweet from Grant Cohn. I'm going to see if I can share my screen here. It's been a little while since I've shared my screen, so I do have to get used to using StreamYard again. I know it's been a while. I sound like an elderly man, like an unk, but I'm going to see here if I can share my screen. But if not, it is what it is. We'll do it on the next one. But yes, Grant Cohn just said that Aiyuk is not the bad guy. That's what he said. He said Brandon Aiyuk is not the bad guy. So he's the one, Grant Cohn, he's been blaming the 49ers side of it all and saying that they're the ones that are wrong. Now, Brandon Aiyuk was unprofessional. I get it. Yes, you still have to show up for work. But the 49ers, it sounds like the 49ers were not innocent at all. It sounds like they were not innocent. That's what I'm taking from Grant Cohn when he keeps talking about the situation. Grant Cohn is pretty plugged in. He follows the situation 24/7 over there. So I do take some of the word that Grant Cohn, excuse me, I had to drink some of the secret stuff. But I do put some stock into what Grant Cohn has to say. So there's definitely layers to it. It's not super cut and dry like Brandon Aiyuk was 100% the bad guy. But at the same time, Brandon Aiyuk, he should have showed up for work. That was unprofessional. It was. Donnell Jenkins 088 says, "Go Cowboys." I haven't seen Donnell in a long time, man. I have not seen him in a long time. Shout out to Donnell, even though he's a Cowboys fan. I have a funny joke for you, Donnell. I have a joke for you, okay? So Dak Prescott, your quarterback, he was engaged, right? Okay. So he was so close to getting a ring. His first ring. He was so close to getting it. But the reason why he is out of that relationship is because he's allergic to getting rings. You like the joke, Donnell? You like the joke? You like it? I know it's a knee slapper, but your boy Dak was so close to getting married and getting that ring because you know darn well he's not getting a Super Bowl ring. He's not getting a Super Bowl ring ever. That was the only ring he was ever going to get, and he was so close to it and he didn't get it. I'm so disappointed. I really am. I hate that for Dak. I really do, man. I hate that for him. I really do. I don't want to get into his personal life, but he was so close to getting a ring, man. You know what? I got another joke for you, Darno. You know who has more passes in an NFC championship game that is a special teamer that has more passes in an NFC championship game than your quarterback? Trust Way. Trust Way has more passes in an NFC championship round than your quarterback. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. We can go for days, Donnell. We can go for days. Donnell. We can go for days. So your guy has never gotten past the second round. Jaden Daniels did that his rookie season already. He's never gotten past the second round. He's never done that before. So, but yeah, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you and Jerry Jones. I love Jerry Jones with a passion. I'm so happy he traded Michael Parsons. That was awesome. I was so happy. Like, bro, when I got the news that y'all traded Michael Parsons, I was so happy. I was ecstatic. It was like we won a football game when y'all traded Michael Parsons, and now y'all scrambling. You didn't get Max Crosby. You didn't get Trey Hendrickson. You got Rashawn Gary, who's a good player. He's not bad at all. You did get Quentin Williams, who's fine. But you didn't get Max Crosby. You didn't get Trey Hendrickson. So I think honestly, the Cowboys, I'm not gonna say y'all had a bad offseason, but you had an underwhelming offseason, in my opinion. You did make some good moves. You traded for Rashawn Gary. It's still not over yet. You still have 2 first-round picks, which is fine. But you did miss out on some of the big names that you guys really, really, really needed. You did. You could have used Trey Hendrickson. If anybody could have used Trey Hendrickson, it definitely could have been y'all. And it definitely could have been y'all. If anybody needed Max Crosby, y'all could have used Max Crosby. If y'all would have got Max Crosby, that would have been a huge help for y'all. I actually would have been a little concerned. I would have been a little concerned with Max Crosby. Trey Hendrickson, not so much. That would have been a big help for you guys, though. You do have CD. You do have George Pickens. You got a good offense as always. Javonte Williams came back. So the offense is going to be fine, but your defense is probably going to be – it's going to be okay. It's not going to be bad. But we all know what's happens with you guys every year. You guys are never going to get past the second round. You guys haven't made the playoffs in 2 years in a row, which is crazy. It might be a third year in a row. Like, at least y'all usually make the playoffs. Playoffs? Y'all at least make the playoffs. Y'all not even made the playoffs. Y'all haven't even been doing that the last 2 years. You guys have been pretty irrelevant, honestly. All right, Darnell, I'm gonna let you live. I already had to cook you with the Tressway has more passing yards than Dak Prescott in an NFC Championship round, and he will never ever get a ring. He was so close to getting a ring with his ex-girlfriend, but he couldn't even win that one. So it is what it is on that. All right. Shout out to Threes. He says ding 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 got more passes than Dak. Laughed my butt off in an NFC title game. Yes, that is Tressway. He did do that. Raymond Johnson 6002. He says, "Good luck to see you, Ed, with the live." Yes, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Last time I went live was like I can't remember. It's been a long time. Thrino says, to be honest, because they weren't like impact type of sacks. Let's see here. Captain Obvious 7168. Never catch Ed live. HTTR, HTTC, hashtag go defenders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go defenders, man. I will be at the defenders game on April 10th. I will be there. We will. I'm sorry, April 11th. April 11th, I will be at the defenders game. That will be our home opener, I believe, against the Battle Hawks. I gotta look that up and make sure that's who we're playing for our first game of the season. But I will be there for that April 11th, the home game. So, and it's crazy. Decent defenders their jerseys cost more than our jerseys. I'm like, what in the world is going on? Like, I was trying to get a defender's jersey, and it was $100 some. I was like, bro, I literally just got a De'Ami Brown jersey for $15. Like, I'm not about to pay $100 for a DC Defenders jersey, but I do have a DC Defenders hat. I'm trying to up my DC Defenders gear. That's what I'm trying to work on right now. I'm trying to get my bag up, my DC Defenders gear up. That's what I'm trying to work on right now. Some more defenders love. He says, Ed, I believe in the defenders. Shout out to Yo Vlade. I appreciate you for that, man. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. Yes, the defenders, like people want to hop on the defenders now because Gabe Taylor is on the defenders. And I'm like, nah, stay over there. Stay over there. We don't want you now. Stay over there. Like, we've been watching the defenders over here. I've been gone to events. I haven't been to a defenders game yet, but I have gone to watch parties, and I did go to the championship parade. But now since Gabe Taylor's here, everybody wants to watch the defenders. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Stay over there. But yes, shout out to the defenders, shout out to Jordan Tiemu, and we should repeat this year. We should win back to back, going back to back. Jackson Moore says 456 Chanel getting more snaps this year will be game changing for him. So yes, some of you guys did comment your grades, and some of you guys did comment your favorite signing, like who your favorite signing. Like I said, if you are new to the stream, please comment down below who your favorite signing was. Carter Krankenstein 82B46 says his Shig was his favorite. Please comment. I want to interact with you guys. I want to interact with you guys in the comments for sure. Please comment down below your favorite signing of the free agency so far. I guess who was your least favorite signing? Is there any free agent that you want to see us go get out there that's still available? A wide receiver, a corner. I want to see us get Fabian Moreau. I like Fabian Moreau a lot. I think he's a guy that played with Durante Jones that would help. And just the familiarity. I'm not banging on the table for Fab, but I kind of am at the same time. Just for depth in the cornerback room. Let me see. I'm just going to Google free agents available. But I think he's a guy that could definitely come in here. We could get Kenneth Walker. I think we were in on him. We didn't get him. So there's a couple guys that we were in on that we didn't get. But let me look at the free agent corners real quick, and then I do want to get to some more of the comments. But like I said, my grade personally is a B+. The only reason why I do ding him is because we were in on a couple guys. You didn't get him. Now Alec Pierce, I'm kind of happy we didn't get him. We didn't overpay for him because I just don't believe that Alec Pierce is a wide receiver one, and he did not deserve that money. But you got to pay the market price. You got to pay to play. We missed out on Jalen Phillips, who I think that Odafe Owe is better than Jalen Phillips because Jalen Phillips has been injury prone throughout his career. Odafe Owe has been way more healthy in his career, so I'm happy that we ended up getting him. I don't think that was an overpay. A lot of people were like, oh, we overpaid Odafe Owe. I'm like, nah, you didn't overpay. Odafe Owe had 10 sacks one year in his career with the Ravens. And then he had 7.5 sacks with the Chargers. And then he had 3 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in a playoff game. Like, he was a dog. Odafe Owe and K'Lavon Chaisson in that playoff game were dogs. They both had at least 2 sacks in that game. So they were balling. Adam Peters was watching that game. He was watching that game very, very closely, very heavily. And he was like, I got to get these guys. These guys are superb athletes that get to the quarterback and are younger and faster and just young and athletic. So, yes, Shig was my favorite out of everybody. Nick O exiting. All right, I just had to get ready for the storm. But the best place to order jerseys right now is NFLshop.com. And these are not the DH Gate jerseys. This is a legitimate, real De'Ami Brown jersey. This is a legitimate, real De'Ami Brown jersey. I don't like the elite jerseys or the on-field jerseys because I don't like the sleeves to be all cuffed up and stuff like that. I like them to be loose and just a little loose, not too loose. But I like them to have the kind of like have that t-shirt feel to it. I don't want it to be all cuffed up like the legitimate jersey where you have shoulder pads on. I don't like my jerseys like that. I like the kind of the replica authentic type jersey. This is the authentic. It has the patch on the back too, as well. If I can take it off and show you guys. But like I said, I got some more jerseys on the way that I'm going to show you guys. And if you do go on the website, they still have some stuff on clearance, but it's not like I think they actually sold out other jerseys. They had a B-Rob jersey too. I was so upset. I missed out on the B-Rob. They had the B-Rob jersey of the jerseys that we're gonna get next year, like the throwback skin jersey. They had that for $14.99. I should have just got it. I loafed and it's not there anymore. I'm so upset. So upset. All right, Toronto. So this is the one ding that that I kind of have here is the only signing that I was down on was the Aiyuk Robertson signing. I do think there were some other corners that you could have gotten. I do think possibly Tariq Woolen. I don't think he was signed for that much. Jamel Dean, they didn't pay him that much more than what Aiyuk Robertson got paid. So I think the only overpay I really think is honestly Aiyuk Robertson. I don't want to keep ragging on the guy. Like I said, I think he's a good player. I think he's going to fit well. Like a big reason why Durante Jones went after Aiyuk Robertson is because he saw him twice a year. He saw him go up against Justin Jefferson twice a year since Durante Jones was a part of the coaching staff for the Vikings. And, he saw that battle, just the toughness, the tenacity, the tenacious and all that, attitude and all that, and leadership. And that's what Durante Jones liked in Aiyuk Robertson. But Toronto says, what are we doing at cornerback 2, though? Trey is a lock at cornerback 1. Are we going 5'9" to 5'10" at cornerback 2? That scares me. Yeah, so we are on the shorter side. We may draft one. I don't think we're going to get Mansur Delane at 7. I just don't think we're going to go with a corner at 7. I do like him a lot. Virginia Tech product, transfer to LSU. He's actually from Silver Spring, Maryland. I found that out today. I didn't know he was from Silver Spring, which is pretty cool. But like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you're from. But it's just cool. But yeah, they could go Mansour, but a lot of people say that they don't need super talented corners in the Durante Jones if he's going to be similar to Brian Flores type of defensive scheme and system. Like we saw them last year. Like who was the guy that was from the Eagles that went to the Vikings? Like that was one of their top corners. Isaiah Rodgers was one of their better corners. It's not like they really had lockdown guys on that defense last year, and they were a top 10 defense in almost every statistical category. So you don't really need it now. I'm not saying you don't need talent. Yes, we do need talent. We do need some guys to match up. Like say if AJ Brown is still in the division, Malik Neighbors, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, you have some really, really, really good receivers in this division that you're going to have to play twice a year. So yes, Trey Amos, Mikey's going to be your CB2, and then Aiyuk Robertson is going to start as well. So those are your top 3 corners. John Jones signed with the Eagles, so he's gone. Noah I signed with the Seahawks, so he's gone. And then I'm trying to think of who else we have on the roster at the cornerback position. Like cornerback is a need. Like let me pull up our depth chart. Like we do need a corner. I really hope that Adam signs one in the next couple days. Really honestly, like we do need a corner. We need more guys on the depth chart at the cornerback position. Yeah. After that, at corner, it's Mike. The listed depth chart corner is Darius Rush, Quantrez Knight, the guy that we signed to a reserve future contract. We don't have a lot of cornerback depth at all. Trey Hawkins, Carlin Vidgers, who was really, really bad in the preseason last year, who kept getting ran over. And then Antonio Hamilton is another guy. But Antonio Hamilton's he's not listed here because Antonio Hamilton is technically a free agent. Antonio Hamilton is a guy that I would bring back as well. I thought he played. I don't care that he's 32 years old. I would bring back Antonio Hamilton in a heartbeat. Like you need depth at the cornerback position. We just don't have it right now. So that is a position that we need to attack. Still in free agency. I'm gonna look at some of the guys that are available at the cornerback position that we should get. L'Jarius Sneed is a free agent. Cam Taylor-Britt is a free agent. Trayvon Diggs is a free agent. Marshawn Lattimore is a free agent. I'm happy we cut him, so we're not gonna bring Rasul Douglas is a free agent. There's some good corners that are. Mike Hilton is a good slot corner. Tre'Davious White is on the elder side, AARP, Life Alert side. But Shaquille Griffin's a free agent. Fabian Moreau, Martin Emerson, who had a good year last year. Adoree Jackson, who's pretty bad, who was on the Eagles last year. He's a free agent. Darnay Holmes is a free agent. But there's 5 guys. Akilo Witherspoon is a free agent. There's a couple guys. L'Jarius Sneed, I wouldn't be mad at kicking the tires on him, like a 1-year deal, something like that. I wouldn't be mad at that. There's a couple good corners that are available because you may not draft a corner. Like, I think they're going receiver in the first round. And then in the third round, we'll see what they decide. I have no idea what they're going to do in the third round. I picked 71. But there may be a world where they don't draft a corner in the first or third round. And you're going to have to rely on free agency. So I would go ahead and get Rasul Douglas. Or one of those guys, Rasul Douglas, Cam Taylor-Britt, one of those guys. I know Cam Taylor-Britt, we have history with him with the college offense comment, and he didn't have his best season in the last 2 years, but he started off pretty hot. Rasul Douglas takes the ball away. L'Jarius Sneed was pretty good with the Chiefs. I know he was bad the last couple of years with the Titans, but yeah, I mean, there's some guys that you can get. I know nobody wants Trayvon Diggs, but yes, Fabian Moreau is out there. Yes, please get Fabian Moreau. Please get him. Eric Woody Variety 59 says my favorite signing was between Odafe Owe and Chig Okonkwo. Yes, so those are the top of the list for me too. I really like the Chiggy one. Yak. I mean, you got a tight end that can run, that can make moves after catching the football, that can actually make somebody miss in a phone booth. There's so many different things you can do with Chig. Yes, I love Zach. No, I love Zach Ertz. I wish him the best, man, and everything. Is a great guy, great leader, great captain last year. He will always be remembered for the 2024 season run, but it was time to get younger. It was time to get younger for sure. So I really like the Chiggy Okonkwo signing. And he was cheaper than Isaiah Likely. And David Njoku is still out there. So, like, I mean, I wouldn't sign David Njoku at this point. You got Chiggy right now. But Chiggy's 25. He's only going to get better with a better quarterback. And he did what he did with a quarterback carousel with the Tennessee Titans, like I said earlier. As of right now, I don't think it's raining yet. I just looked at my TV to see if it was raining and looked outside. It's not raining right now where I am. It's not raining. So I have not seen a thunderstorm yet. I have not seen a tornado yet. I have not seen that yet. You guys let me know if you guys have seen a tornado in your area, if you're in the DMV. Jackson Morris 456. He says, yeah, I like Jalen Lane too, but ultimately would rather just have a better wide receiver and let him cook in the return game. And he can just fill in for a package or injuries. Yes. So Jalen Lane, he had a up and down rookie season. He had a really good season as a punt returner. He did muff a kickoff against the Chiefs. I think he muffed a punt too, if I'm not mistaken. He had a bunch of drops last year, which was not good. He did have a nice double move against the Bears on Monday Night Football. That was the highlight catch of his season. Let me actually look up the stats. And then, of course, he got injured. I'm not going to say of course, but unfortunately, he got injured in the next game. I can't remember who he got injured against. I think it might have been the Eagles or something like that. But Jalen Lane ended the season with 16 catches for 225 yards. So he only had 16 catches. He had 32 targets. So he caught 50% of his catches. Success rate was 40%, which is not good. Catch percent is 50%. So he's 50-50 with catching the football. It's just not good enough. He needs to improve. But that's the development. You know, we have to develop our players better. Our developmental coach got fired too. They let him go as well. The guy who was a part of the developmental process. I forgot the guy's name, but they moved on from him. But if you compare Jalen Lane, his catch percentage to Terry has a 63% catch percentage. Terry had a 70% catch percentage in 2024. The worst catch percentage that Terry had in his career was 59%. And you look at Jalen Lane, his rookie year, he had 50%. So that just tells you kind of how bad he was catching the football. I'm not saying he had 16 drops. He was 16 out of 32. And he dropped probably like 3 or 4 of them. And they were noticeable drops. He had 3 fumbles as well. I think the fumbles came during the punt returns, so I'm not going to ding him for that. But yes, he needs to be better at catching the football. You just got to. And, yeah, he's a rookie, so he probably has some jitters, some nerves, different things like that. But, yes, he's got to hang on to the football. He's got to hang on to the football. Art _Rogue says Amik Robertson plays bigger than he is and had good games against teams. I already read that one. Let me see if there's any new ones that came in to catch up with you guys. Junkyard Hall says Delane played 300 plus snaps and had 0 penalties, and he did not. allow a touchdown all season, he would fit perfectly. Yes, I talked about that in my video earlier today. He had 0 penalties. That's great. He didn't allow a touchdown. Like you said, he had 0 penalties. You know how hard that is to have 0 penalties? That's really, really tough to do. That is so tough to do, to have 0 penalties. There's some other stats that I had about him too that I wanted to say. But he's good in man. He's good in zone. Very physical. He's quick. He did have an abdominal injury. That's why he did not participate in the combine. But I do want to see like his 40-yard dash and everything like that. He only allowed 147 yards the entire season off 358 coverage snaps. He got better. Like when he was at Virginia Tech, he had 4 picks. He had 1 pick this year. Against Clemson, he had 1 interception. He had a 0.0 passer rating allow, which is really, really good against Clemson. I think they just stopped targeting him throughout the whole season. Mansour Delaney gave up a 26.5 NFL passer rating allowed and had 1 interception, 0 touchdowns allowed, 6 catches allowed, 68 yards allowed in the whole season. 89.9 coverage grade, which is second among cornerbacks as well. So he had an elite season, man. I'm sorry, no, he had 165 yards allowed in a season. So he had 11 pass breakups. 11 pass breakups as well. So he was a dog this past year for LSU. He really was a dog. And like I said, he got better when he transferred from Virginia Tech to LSU. So he played against really good competition, which is really good. So I love that. I like that a lot with him. But like I said, I don't think he's going to be the pick at pick 7. I don't think he'll be the pick. Phil Rickards. Oh, shout out to Phil Rickards, man. 4059 says, "Hi, Ed. Phil, your English follower here. Stay safe in those storms, brother. Great signings. I give it an A. AP back to his best now. Got to fill in the draft. Yeah, so it's close to an A. I don't give it an A, but it's close. I'm not gonna be a Russian judge here, but I thought he did a good job. I think pass rusher, he really filled that need a lot with getting a bunch of guys. And he didn't just throw bodies at it. Like, he got good players. Like, I think he learned from last year where our 2 big signings were Javon Kinlaw and Dietrich Wise. Those were our main additions to the defense. And I just don't think that was enough. You know, I know we traded for, excuse me, Tunsil and Debo, but on the defensive side, we only really added Dietrich Wise and Javon Kinlaw in trying to stop the run. But those just weren't enough, and I think this year he got a bunch of guys that can get after the quarterback, and even some of the depth signings like Charles Omenihu was a good signing. I really like the Charles Omenihu signing. I like that a lot. I think that's a good signing. I know Jacob Martin left. I'm disappointed that Jacob Martin was not re-signed and brought back, but you know, I wish him the best. But even we got Chris Paul back too, which is a heck of a re-signing. But I do give AP a B+, only because of the wide receiver room currently. I'm not a big fan of the wide receiver room, and because he did strike out on some of the other guys in the beginning. Like, we were always so close. You got to be quicker than that. Just like the old Geico commercial where you just keep missing out. You're so close. You're so close to getting this guy and that guy and this guy, but you got to be quicker than that. He kept missing out on some of the bigger free agents, but that's the only reason why I really ding at him a little bit. But other than that, he was really, really good. He had a good free agency. And you just got to be patient. That's the thing, too. Like, we all had our pitchforks. We had our torches, tiki torches, and Molotov cocktails, whatever you call them. Like, we all had that for not everybody. But I will say about 98% of people had that stuff for Adam Peters. Their pitchforks, tiki torches, and all kinds of stuff were ready to get after Adam Peters after day 1 of free agency. So I think we just got to be patient with him, and I thought he did a good job for the most part. I'm happy with what he did through this free agency. You got younger, you got faster, you got more athletic. I think you got more aggressive, more assertive. You got tougher a little bit here too, and they're all culture guys. They all fit the good commander way. Rashad White is a character guy. Who else? Odafe Owe is a character guy from what I've seen, what I know. Jeremy McNichols, you brought him back. That's a commander guy. And Leo Chenal is definitely a commander. He is a commander. Wow, you saw the way he got up on that on the Super Bowl bus where he just lifted himself up, and they all fit their RAS scores. They're all young and athletic. Leo Chenal, Nick Cross, stand-up guy. Nick Cross was a Commander, so he was a Skins fan back in the day. He's another local guy. Went to a local high school from Bowie, Maryland. Went to Maryland. Like I said, at the end of the day, all that stuff doesn't matter. But those guys, he oh, hey, BDG, you're a funny guy. Look, I'm reading every comment I can, okay? Look, I'm trying to read every comment. I'm reading everybody's comment, all right? So, but yes, JF5264 says running back room doesn't look great, in my opinion. Bill has improved himself to lean heavily on him. So, yeah, I mean, it's a question mark there. So, I mean, Jeremiah Love would definitely make the running back room awesome. He would make it great and better. But I think the running back room is fine. Like, it doesn't have to look elite. Like, it doesn't have to look like a Madden type of running back room. Like, I would love to have Kenneth Walker. I would have loved to have him, of course. And who else was on top? Rico Dowdle. I would have loved to have him. I would have been very happy with Rico Dowdle. I've been very excited for that. But I think you have a good group of guys. You have a guy who's physical in Jerome Ford, who put up 800 rushing yards in the season. You have a guy in Rashad White who put up 900 rushing yards in the season. You have a guy in Bill who put up 800 rushing yards last year. You have a guy who can catch out of the backfield in Rashad White. Jerome Ford can do the same. He had a year where he had like 20-something catches for a bunch of receiving yards. He's had a couple good years, good seasons under his belt. You look at the yards per carry statistics on Jerome Ford. You have a third down back that can really protect the quarterback, and Jeremy McNichols. Rashad White is good in pass protection. So you have a couple guys that, as a committee, that can work really well. Like the running back room was not the problem last year. The offense was not the problem for the most part. Our offense was fine. But the running back room is good enough to win 10, 11 games. Like, you can win 10, 11 games with this running back room. Like, you can do it. We're capable of doing it. Like, this is a solid running back room. It's a solid running back room. You don't have to have an A+ running back room to win a bunch of games in the NFL. But these guys can definitely get it done. Rashad White, like I said, on the deal that you got him for, a bargain bin type of deal, like that was a heck of a deal. And Bill will only get better. Like, he had 3 fumbles last year. Yes, he has to work on that. I did see somebody comment about the fumbles. Art Rogue says Bill is fumble prone. I wouldn't necessarily say he's fumble prone, but he has to improve on it. He had 3 fumbles. He had a fumble against the Bears. He had a fumble against the Chargers. So he only had 3 fumbles, which is not great. But yes, he does need to improve. Jerome Ford, throughout his career, he had 340 carries and only 1 fumble. So that's a guy that doesn't fumble the football. Rashad White doesn't fumble the football like that either. Let me look at his stats as well and just double check on his stats and see how many fumbles he's had in his career. And he had a reduced role. So he's only 26 years old. He's 27 years old. Played with Jaden. He called Jaden his best friend. Rashad White has had 3 fumbles every year in his career. He had 3 fumbles in 2024. He had 3 fumbles in 2023. He had 3 fumbles his rookie year in 2022. So he does need to improve in that category. He does. He needs to improve in that. He's had 677 carries in his career and 9 fumbles, which is not bad. Like, it's not bad at all. Like, we look at Antonio Gibson. I know we chastise him a lot about his fumble. Let me see how many fumbles he has in his career, because I know we gave that guy a tough time. A really, really tough time about his fumbling. Gibby did fumble 6 times. And he fumbled in 2021, and he fumbled 4 times in 2023. So that is a lot of fumbles. That is. We rightfully so did give Antonio Gibson a tough time. We did. And Bill had 3 fumbles. So I wouldn't say he's fumbling prone yet. I wouldn't say that. I don't think he's fumbling prone. I don't think it's really fair to say that. Uptown Dre says we need a safety. Yeah, we can use another safety. You're probably not gonna get a safety. You're not gonna get a safety in free agency. But, we can use another safety. I wouldn't be mad at that. But you're not – I mean, of course, Caleb Downs. If they really like Caleb Downs at pick 7, that's somebody they could definitely take. They could definitely take him. Let me see if there's any other comments that I did miss. Yo Vlade says, suit up. Somebody commented Jeff Okudah. I would not take Jeff Okudah. There's just too many injuries right now for him. He had a concussion. He barely played last year. So I would not sign Jeff Okudah. I know there's a familiarity with Durante Jones, who was with the Vikings last year. I would rather go with Fabian Moreau. I would rather go with the former Skin Commander football team player, Fabian Moreau. Fab Moreau. I would take him. Tim Farrell. Shout out to Tim Farrell. He says Mikey will rebound this year. I think he will. I like Mikey a lot. He forces turnovers. He gets interceptions. He plays bigger than his height and size. Remember, Nick Saban said he was pound for pound the best player in the draft. So there's still that guy in him. We saw how he was good last year in the NFC divisional game against the Lions, where he got the 2 interceptions. So I still believe in Mikey. I think if anybody can get the best out of him, Durante Jones could definitely get the best out of Mikey. And I think the pass rush will definitely help. You got to remember, we didn't have a pass rush last year either. So that clearly doesn't help the secondary. It did not help the secondary last year either. Let's see here. Rono Winchester 43-47 says because we need a good corner. And Gary Tucker says I got some classic jerseys, Monk Green, Doug Williams, and Sean Taylor for sale. Yeah, y'all hit up Gary Tucker for some of the jerseys. See what he's talking about. See what he's talking about for the jerseys. Thorado says the Kobe Dean would have been good for me. Hold on one second, guys. Yes, Nakobe Dean is a guy that I wanted. I wanted Nakobe Dean. That's one guy that I did want because I wanted him as a pass rusher. He's battled some injuries. I got to look at Nakobe Dean and see what his contract was. But that is one guy that I felt like we definitely should have gotten. But I'm happy with Leo Chenal. Chenal is a great player, and I'm very happy with him. Like I said, Devin Lloyd is a guy that I was not happy that we missed out on. Quay Walker, I was not very high on Quay Walker, but Nakobe Dean got a 3-year, $36 million deal. So if you look at Leo Chenal compared to Nakobe Dean's deal, Leo Chenal got a 3-year, $24 million deal. So that's $8 million per year. And then Nakobe Dean got 3 years, 36. So it was $4 million less than Nakobe Dean. So I think we made out with that. Looking at some of the other guys, Josh Jobe is a corner that I would have liked to sign. He's one guy that I would like to have. We did miss out on Romeo Dubs, but I thought that would have been a good signing, but he wanted to go to the Patriots. It was what it was with that. Alontae Taylor, 3 years, $60 million. I think that's pretty pricey for him. Brian Cook went to the Bengals. That's another guy. Tremaine Edmonds is a guy that I did want. That's a guy that I did want. We did not get him. So I'm just being objective and kind of like, because you can't give Adam an A. For everything. Travis Etienne, 4 years, $52 million. That's pretty pricey, but I really liked him. Isaiah Likely, they said that they did not like his tape, allegedly, per some beat reporters here. But it was what it was with that, too. We ended up not getting him. But like I said, Devin Lloyd is the one that hurt. If I wanted to, like I said, give Adam a downgrade to his grade. And that was really it other than that. Reek Willing got a 1-year, $15 million deal with the Eagles, so we'll see. Reek Willing is good, but he's been wildly inconsistent. You saw what happened against the Rams in that game too, where he got the penalty. He got cooked on one play. So he's been pretty inconsistent throughout his career. He had a really good rookie year, but he's been inconsistent. Rashid Shaheed is a guy that I really, really wanted to. We were allegedly in on him. We ended up not getting him. Jalen Thompson, the Cowboys signed Jalen Thompson, the safety. So those are some of the guys that I've been like, okay, hey, we could have got that guy, but I'm not really tripping that we didn't get him. But it's something that to take a look at for sure that we missed out on. Let me see. Res 1966 says we need Cushenberry. Just saying, yes, we do need a center. Apparently, Nick Allegretti. It sounds like he's going to start a center because every interview that he does, he talks about how much he loves playing center. So it looks like he may be the center, which I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest. But it looks like he's going to be the center coming in this year. I don't think it's going to be Brandon Coleman. I would, like I said, I'd rather it be Lloyd Cushenberry or Graham Glasgow from the Lions. That's the guy that those are the two guys I would take a look at. Those are the two guys I would look at. Shug Biz says, "Was this a live? Yes, I'm live right now, Shug. I'm live right now. I'm on right now, Shug. Okay. I wanted to get on before the Wizards game. The Wizards game that starts at 7 o'clock tonight. So I wanted to go around this time. I wanted to go around before the tornado starts. I still see no tornado. It's 4:18. So I guess that's a good thing. I haven't seen anything so far. And Funny African Videos 365 says, What's up, Funny African Videos? We got a lot of your brethren on the team now. We got Charles Aminihu, we got Odafe Owe, we got Chiga Conquo. So we got some of your brothers, some of your Coming to America brothers on the roster now. We have a couple of the Coming to America team here. So I gotta pronounce the names correctly. Odafe Owe, I got that down. Charles Aminihu, I got that down. Chiga Conquo, I got that down. I was never able to pronounce Noah I correctly. He's not on the team anymore. I'm trying to think if we have any African brothers on the team other than the three guys that I named. I'm trying to think if we have any other ones, but Adam Peters definitely brought in some of the Coming to America brothers to the team for sure. So it's good to see that. It's good to see that for sure. Jaya 5264 said, "Are we bringing back Bobby Wagner?" I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we brought him back. Maybe you can get him for cheap. Maybe you can get him for 1 year, $5 million deal or something like that. Because we've been giving Bobby like $10 mil per year or something like that, like every year. So maybe this time around you give him something cheaper. So if you wanted to come in and be the green dot, and he doesn't have to be in situations where he's guarding, Bajon Robinson, because we play the Falcons again this year, or situations like that where you can kind of, you're not going to be able to hide him or nothing, but just put him in advantageous situations. They're always going to attack him, though. They're always going to do that. With the running back, the tight end, it doesn't matter who it is. They're going to attack him in passing situations. But when you obvious running downs, of course, it would be great to have Bobby in there. But he would just have to be okay with having a reduced role where he's not playing 99.9% of the snaps or 100% of the snaps. And we know Bobby's not going to be happy with that. I'm intrigued to see, like, if he doesn't sign here, I'm intrigued to see where he does end up going. I am intrigued with that. I will say that. Uptown Dre, are we re-signing Debo? I don't think we are, but yes, I would. I would re-sign Debo Samuel. I definitely would. The Dubs family, 5144 says, "What's up, man? What's up, Dubs, man? I haven't seen Dubs in a little while. I haven't seen you in a little while, man. Shout out to Dubs. Dubs was definitely, he's been watching the channel for a long time. Mr. F, you all up. He says the problem with Bobby is he's not sitting for nobody. He's a Hall of Famer. Excuse me. And that's what I said. Like, he is a guy that wants to play 110% of the snaps. So if he's okay with having a reduced role behind Leo Chenal and Jordan McGee and Frankie and Cam Madrano can come in and get some snaps and play, then okay. But if he plans on playing 100% of the snaps again, then yeah, it's not going to happen. Threes, yes, I know. Igbenogany, yes, I did get that down, but it doesn't matter now. He's on the Seahawks, so it doesn't really matter. It's fine now. It doesn't really matter. We don't have to really say his name. We don't have to say his name. I'm actually going to look at the depth chart to see if there's any other guys that are Nigerian or whatever on the roster, but we'll talk about another time. There is a guy on the roster. I can't say his name. It's number 64. It's like Amuvale Laialu Malasa. And he is an offensive tackle / offensive guard. He's like Samoan or something like that. Number 64 on the practice squad. There is no way in the world I would be able to pronounce that young man's name at all. I wouldn't even try it. I would just, like, with Giannis, I just say Giannis. That's all I say. I don't say Giannis. I take a Tuco. It's just, it's really tough. It's tough for me to pronounce those names. I apologize. I really do. Shook Biz says, is Gardner Johnson still available? No, he is not. He signed with the Buffalo Bills. So CJ Gardner Johnson is not available to be signed. Toronto, yes. What's up with Cam Taylor-Britt? I talked about him earlier. Did he resign with the Bengals? No, he did not. He is still a free agent. We still need another corner. We need depth. I'll read off the cornerback names really quickly for you guys. the guys that I like that are available at the quarterback position. I may make a regular video about the corners that I like that are still available. I think there's still some really, really good cornerbacks that are available out there. L'Jarius Sneed, who was just released. Cam Taylor-Britt is still available. Russell Douglas, who takes the ball away, is still available. Mike Hilton is still available as well. And Fabian Moreau and Martin Emerson, who had a good year last year too. Those guys are still available. So those guys those are guys that Adam can definitely get on favorable deals as well. Trayvon Diggs is still available. I will pass on I'm gonna pass on Trayvon Diggs. I'm gonna pass on him, but he does have familiarity with Dan Quinn. I will say that. Oh, the Niners just signed Christian. Then release Aiyuk then. Release Aiyuk if they just sign Christian Kirk. Because you just release Aiyuk. You're not gonna trade him. It's not happening. It's annoying. It's even more annoying now that they just signed a receiver. Just release him, really. Let me confirm. I believe what you're saying, but I just want to look that up real quick and see if Christian Kirk. Excuse me, did sign with the 49ers. I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon. Okay, so they signed Christian Kirk to a 1 year, $6 million deal. I thought we could have. I would have rather did that than signing Van Jefferson. Personally, I would have rather did that. I think that's actually a good deal for Christian Kirk. That's a favorable. And Christian Kirk didn't do anything last year, really. So, that's a good signing for the Niners. But like I said, that the Niners should just release him. It's even more now. You should just release him since you just signed a receiver. So that's pretty annoying there. Faith Man, Yahoo Savage. Yes, no Diggs brothers for me. I'll pass on that. I'll pass on Stephon Diggs. I will pass on Trayvon Diggs as well. Good players. Well, Trayvon's not really good anymore, but Stephon Diggs is still decent. I'm not gonna lie, Stephon Diggs just had 1,000 yards last year, so like he's gonna help a team, but I wouldn't take him here. I would never take him here. Coach G says, I ain't never seen Ed go live. I have not gone live in a while, man. Actually, let me look at the last time I went live. I went live. Let me look this up real quick. The last time I went live. Last time I went live, because I can look it up right now, was Commanders offseason free agency and trade talk plan with my elite channel members. I did go live after we lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship game, and I did go live. The date on this is because I used to go live all the time. I used to go live like once a week. February 5th, 2025 was the last time I went live. So it's been a year and some change, year and a month. It's been way, way, way too long. Way, way, way too long. Way too long. How about them Wizards? Yeah, we'll do Wizards. I need to go live for the Wizards too. I need to go live for the Wizards another time. I'm gonna definitely do that. I'm gonna definitely go live for the Wizards another time and talk about the Wizards. Nick Cross is live right now. He's doing a presser. Kawhi fan 01M says, "Hey, what is the reason AP's free agency last year after the 2024 season was so whack and lackluster?" He didn't really make a lot of moves. Like we barely signed anybody in the 2024 free agency. Are you talking about the 2025 free agency? But the 2025 free agency, we didn't really sign many people. We traded for guys, but we didn't sign people really. We did a bunch of re-signing and trades. We signed Will Harris, who was okay. He got hurt. McNichols was okay at best. Ken Law was fine. He was okay. He wasn't elite. Bobby Wagner, you brought him back. Brought back Zach Ertz. Brought back John Bates, Tress Way, Marcus Mariota. You signed Eddie Goldman, who was okay as a backup. John Jones was okay as a rotational player. He got hurt throughout the season. Dietrich Wise hurt for second game of the season. Michael Dieter is a backup. Noah Brown, re-signed him. He got hurt. I'm so happy we're not bringing him back. Sheldon Day is a rotational backup. Trent Scott, we brought him back too last year. Rotational backup. Noah I re-signed him. Nick Bellore signed him. Jacob Martin was good. Cleveland Farrell re-signed him. Jalen Holmes. So, yeah, the 2025 free agency we didn't sign anybody. Barely. Like, we did trades and called it a day. That's what really Adam did for the most part. As far as, like, impactful blue-chip players, like, we traded for Laramie Tunsil, who's a blue-chip guy, and then Debo was a really, really good player. So that's why I was whack because Adam was not aggressive at all. He was like he made 2 trades and was like, okay, that's it, really for the most part. Delaney allowed less than 15 first. Yeah, he was a dog. He was a dog. He was a dog for sure. The tornado took your dog. Okay, yeah. Well, I hope your dog is. I hope your dog is okay. I wish him the best, man. I really do, and I really, really wish him the best. I do, man. That's unfortunate if you're telling the truth, man. That's unfortunate. Duck Hall Shan 8094 says went through the entirety of Dan Snyder ownership and Cowboys still couldn't make the championship game before us. Right, I know. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. All right, guys. Probably gonna wrap it up. I did want to see if there's any more comments that I did miss. Favorite draft process. We'll talk about that next. I mean, mine is David Bailey, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, of course, Caleb Downs. Some of the other guys, I do like Casey Concepcion, the receiver out of Texas A&M. I like him a lot. I do like Zachariah Branch, the receiver out of Georgia. I do like him a lot. Omar Cooper. I'm trying to think who else I like out there too. Elijah Rodriguez, the linebacker. He forced a bunch of turnovers. I do like him. And I'm trying to think of. I know we brought in a quarterback for a workout. Went to Rutgers. He's going to be a UDFA. Most likely to battle with Sam Hartman. And those are the guys I like right now that I've been looking at for the most part. Of course, everybody loves Caleb Downs. Those are some of the bigger names. I'm trying to look at some low key guys. There's a guy from UConn, a wide receiver that I just looked up. I like him a lot. He's a smaller guy, but he's very shifty and quick. Skylar Bell is his name. I like him. He's a guy that we might get a pick at 71 or something like that if we do not get a receiver in the first round. He's a guy that I do like a lot. Boston, the receiver from Washington, Denzel Boston, I think is his name. I do like him a little bit. He actually returned punts too, so he's pretty shifty for a big fella like him. But yeah, no, I definitely looking at some guys. Like I said, Skylar Bell is a guy who I definitely just got hip to that I do like from UConn. He can run, man. He's pretty quick and shifty. He's a guy that you may get him in the third round or something like that. And then we did have the young man from Georgia Tech. He's a wide receiver. We just had him we had a meeting with him. And I think we had a top 30 visit with him too, if I'm not mistaken. So trying to look up and see his name from Georgia Tech because he transferred from FIU or FAU. And Jeremy Bernard. I'm naming receivers. I've only really looked at the receivers like that for the most part so far. Guys that I like, but I'm trying to find Eric Rivers is his name. He ran a 4.3 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.3. I do like I do like the running back Mike Washington. Some people are down on him, but I actually do like Mike Washington from Arkansas. I like him. He's fast. He looks fast to me too. He's shifty. He can catch out of the backfield too. Look at his numbers from Arkansas. He was crying during the combine as well. I like Mike Washington. He's pretty darn good, man. I like him a lot. I think he can play. The other running back from Notre Dame is good too. If we do, we're not going to draft a running back, so it doesn't really matter. There's really no point in even looking these guys up. Honestly, 6'2", 205 pounds, out of Arkansas. He had 226 receiving yards, 8 yards per catch. Mike Washington's really good. I like him. He's a dog. He's gonna be really good. Byron Lance from North Dakota State. I'm gonna look him up and do my research on him. But those are some of the guys that I do like. Sonny Styles. I mean, those are all the guys that we already know. I'm trying to name some guys that are like third round guys, pick 71, instead of all the major guys. But like I said, as far as receiver for me, number one is Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate and McCollum. And those are the guys that I like at pick 7 as far as wide receivers. So, but all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. And then I'm going to try to get back to the weekly lives or something like that. Maybe like lunchtime lives and different things like that. I missed your Aiyuk comments. My bad. Yes, free Aiyuk, man. Free Brandon Aiyuk. Free him. Free him, as always. Uptown Dre, shout out to Uptown Dre for commenting. I'll get to your comments another time. I don't see them. You know, if I could search your lives. Uptown Dre, he says, go live at least once a month. I'm going to try to get back into the swing of going lives. For yes, I say that all the time. Yes, you know my sayings. You know my Ed-isms, my sayings. 40-inch vertical means you can windmill dunk. I say that every time I talk about an RAS score. I'm like, yes, if you have a 40-inch vertical, you probably can windmill dunk. You can probably 360 and all that. Because football players are super athletic. When you can tell when a football player plays basketball. They're all stiff and whatnot for the most part. Just the way they shoot the ball and like their movements and stuff. You can tell when a football player tries to play basketball for the most part. And you can tell when a basketball player tries to play football too, like Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates played both though, but you can kind of tell when you have a dual sport kind of guy for the most part. So, all right, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here, guys. Thank you guys for checking in on a Monday at 3:00. We had a blast. We had a good time talking and whatnot. So, you guys let me know what you guys think. As always, Hell Commanders. I'm gonna be doing show and tell with the jerseys. I got some jerseys coming in, man. All right, you guys. Hell Commanders. Peace.